Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Uzbekistan has a world champion and his name is ISRAIL Madrimov. He stops Magomed Kurbanov in 5 rounds. 29 years old, Madrimov, very good amateur career. Orthodox fighter. This was his 10th victory with 7 KOs. Prior to this, he knocked out Michael Sorrow or stopped him in 9 rounds, and then there was the draw on his record was a technical decision in 3 rounds against Sorrow because they had a rematch. There was a bit of controversy at the end of that fight. And Sorrow did have his moments against Madrimov. But don't forget, Madrimov, that was only Madrimov's, 6th or 7th fight. So he's been fast-tracked, no doubt about it. And he's fought some, people with decent statistical records. Imani Colombo was 14 wins, no draws, no defeats. Madrimov beat him in 10 rounds. That was a unanimous decision. Then you got Eric Walker, who was 20-2. That was a unanimous 12-round decision. So he's been getting the rounds against, C-plus level fighters, experienced guys. And it showed against Kurbanov because Kurbanov came in with 25 wins, 13 KOs, no defeats, no draws. And he too had beaten Michael Sorrow, although that was a split decision win. And he'd beaten Patrick Teixeira. He'd beaten him over 10 rounds. That was a decision. He'd beaten Liam Smith controversially back in 2021. That was over in Russia. And that was a unanimous 12-round decision. A lot of people thought Smith won that fight. Doesn't have one-punch power, Kurbanov. And he's waited kind of a long time for this world title fight. I mean, he's only 28, though, having said that. Orthodox fighter. Yeah, he looks to me like a sort of top 20 guy. That's the impression I've got about him in the past. But to be honest, Madrimov handled him so easily and showing just, being better in all departments. It's not as if Kurbanov was doing anything wrong. Maybe he was hanging his right hand a little low. But he wasn't really doing anything wrong. It's just that Madrimov was better in all departments. More accurate, had the last say in the exchanges, was the one being the most proactive. Jab pretty well, hanging a few accurate punches off the jab. It's not as if he was happy to just stay on the back foot. He was going forward. Kurbanov was kind of throwing punches in retaliation without really a great deal of thought. Occasionally, but to be honest with you, maybe third and fourth round, he was starting to try and get his engine running a bit, but Madrimov just wouldn't let him. Madrimov just had a little bit too much savvy, and Kurbanov knew that he had to go forward and start being proactive, but he just couldn't quite get his engine running. He couldn't quite do anything with the guy. Madrimov was just had too much schooling. And even though Kurbanov had, 15 or whatever it was, fights professionally more than Madrimov, he didn't look like the more experienced professional fighter. That was the thing. So eventually Madrimov, I mean, he was sort of in the 4th round. I think he shook Kurbanov a little bit. But Kurbanov was defiant. I mean, he wasn't quitting. And Madrimov in the 5th round thought, okay, more of the same. I'm just going to counter when I have to. If he's not punching, I'm going to go forward and be first. Very, very relaxed. Lots of, some really nice sort of moves, slick moves, relaxed moves from Madrimov. And then he clips him. He clips Kurbanov. Kurbanov is stung quite badly, goes to the ropes. Madrimov puts it on him, picking his punches well, not going crazy at all. And it looked to me like Kurbanov was there was a little bit of a storm he had to ride out, but it didn't look impossible. He looked okay. But then he got stung again, and Madrimov, this was on the opposite side of the ring, Madrimov caught him with, I think it was a nice left hand. Bear in mind, Madrimov is an orthodox fighter, so he he caught him with I guess it was a hook. I think it was a hook, which sort of pushed Kurbanov back to the ropes. And then Madrimov fires this sort of Golovkin-like overhand right, which sort of swings down. It's almost like an arcing punch. And he clipped Kurbanov badly with that punch. Kurbanov was beginning to bust up a little bit. There was some abrasions around his eyes, maybe a very minor nick, nothing major. But Madrimov just put it on him. He started, in the fifth round, he started letting his hands go. Kurbanov covered up, had no real answer. It was all a bit, one-way traffic. There was nothing really coming back. And then the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. And rather tellingly, Kurbanov did not complain. He actually looked post-fight when the camera was on him and he was being seen to, like he was a little bit more stunned than perhaps he appeared prior to the stoppage. He wasn't concussed, I wouldn't say, but he was shaken and stunned. And like I say, there was absolutely there's no reason for him to complain. Initially, you were thinking, was that a bit premature? But no, it wasn't. It wasn't, to be honest. Madrimov won every round. And Kurbanov, like I say, Kurbanov was probably more hurt than he looked. So this was for the WBA super welterweight title, which was vacant, the one that was taken off Jermell Charlo. And yeah, Madrimov is a real threat. He's from Uzbekistan, had the flag draped around his shoulders. Yeah, he's good. Him against Tim Tszyu would be very interesting. Or Crawford. I would favour Crawford. Crawford needs to fight again, though. At his age, it's good to not to leave it for too long. You don't want to overdo it at his age, late 30s, but at the same time, you don't want to get old overnight, and that means you have to keep active. But who am I to tell Crawford how to run his career? He's brilliant, isn't he? So I think Madrimov against Crawford, I'd favour Crawford. Tim Tszyu against Madrimov, I might go for Madrimov, to be honest with you. Yeah, I might. But let me know what you think. What did you think of this fight? It wasn't the most exciting of fights, but it was good to see, two high-level guys, especially Madrimov, who really threatens to be a very, very good fighter. Post-fight, actually, Eddie Hearn said, we want undisputed. We want this. We want to see Madrimov as the undisputed champ. I'm sure Uzbekistan does as well. And that's how high the bar is. So we'll see. He's 29. But he's a very good fighter, very, very good fighter. Go and have a look at it. Tell me what you think if you've already seen it. If you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button and also give a little tap on that like button as well. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Thanks for your time as always, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.